Okay, folks, welcome to another lesson with Mr. Flores. Today we're going to learn how to draw the human eye. I went ahead and made you a step-by-step, a total of 10 steps on how to do that. Step one, so you're going to get out your sketchbooks and you're going to put your sketchbook onto its side, all right? And it says draw an almond shape, almost a teardrop shape eye. It almost looks like a jelly bean or maybe even some kind of bean that's on its side. So to me, it's a little bit better to draw it from its side. And we're not going to draw little tiny itty bitty drawings the size of your thumb. I want them at least the size of your hand, okay? So don't print these out and then just trace this little tiny guy because that's way too tiny. All right. So like I said, let's put it on its side, and that's a good starting point. That way we can get a good, nice shape, and it looks sort of like a mango. Try not to make it too sketchy, or it's just a bunch of lines. Try to make it a single line, like a contour line. Okay, so that was step one. Step two, it says draw a circle with the top cut off. So not the whole top, but just just like maybe not even 3/4 of it, just the very little top of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a circle. And you don't really need to trace. You can just, right now I'm gonna sketch it so that way I can make a nice circle. There, that's a good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and darken this up just a little bit. And it's a circle with the top cut off. All right, step three. And if I'm going too fast, just feel free to press pause. Draw another almond shape around the eye, but don't make the ends meet. So we're gonna draw another shape, the same for following that same shape, but we're not gonna make the ends meet. And this is the eyelids. So when you close your eye, when your eyes are actually kind of sunken into your head. They're not like protruding out. They are a little bit, and so we're just following that same shape, but the ends do not meet. All right, let's move on to step four. And I'm gonna walk around the room to see if you guys need help as well. Step four, it says draw the pupil and the iris inside the eye, which is the inside of the eye color. It kind of looks like an egg, all right? Don't forget to add reflection spots to your eye drawing, okay? So what we're gonna do is draw the pupil, which is that dark spot, okay? And then we're gonna draw the iris, which is the eye color, and it's sort of like a wavy line, all right? So let's go ahead and start that off. So I'm going to draw the pupil, which is the center of the eye, that black spot. Okay, and then now it says to draw an egg shape around it. So this is a wavy line. And when you do the waves, they're not going to be perfect waves. So let me show you some don'ts when doing this. So when you're drawing the waves, so here's the pupil in the middle. And when you do the waves, they're not going to be super like this. That looks weird, okay? They're going to just be a gradual wave, all right? So they're gonna be more just kind of slow. There you go. Like, okay? They're not gonna be like super up and down. All right, that looks weird. That looks like a weird blob flower or something, okay? So we're just going to do, we're still on step four, and we're gonna do that wavy line, just a gradual wavy line. All right, now it says to do the little reflections in the eye. So those reflections are, so your eye, you need to blink, and your eye is moist, your eye has water, and you need to blink to keep it moist, all right? And when you look into that, you need to see that reflection to tell that your eye has like water in it, all right? So let's make those little reflections, and some people make them square, some people make them any which way. I just like to make them round. So I'm just gonna put 3 random circles in the eye to make that reflection. And I'm going to go ahead and erase the inside of those lines that are inside the reflection, because those are supposed to be just solid white. Okay, and go ahead and color in your pupil. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll do a time lapse just to hurry that up. All right, now that we colored that in, now we'll move on to step 5. So step 5 says drawing the inside of the eye, focusing on the color. Okay, so we're going to do, says make sure to put a dark outline. All eyes have this. This is called the limbus. All right, so the dark outline is this outline right here. And if you actually looked into the mirror, you will see that you have a dark outline around the color of your eye. So let's go ahead and darken this up. So even though you can't see the top part of the limbus, you're still going to darken this in. It's because that's where the shadow should be. So you're still going to darken in all the way around. All right, for step 5, it says we're going to draw lines going in a circular motion like the sun. Make sure the lines are separated. They don't have to be perfectly apart. Okay, so we're going to draw lines going outward. And when we do these, we need to make sure that they're not, so here's this, like here's a circle and here's a sun. So we need to make these lines sort of nice and perfectly apart. We need to make sure that they don't come out like weird like this and come out sideways. They need to come out just nice and perfectly even. So make sure they don't look like this, okay? So go ahead and feel to press pause. That way we can all do this, and then you can move on to the next step. So again, you're going to start from that egg shape and then move outward. I sometimes turn my paper around so I can make those perfect lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, that's good. Now we're ready to move on to step 6. It says, the lines closer to the pupil, draw them closer together, okay if touching. So these were a little bit separated on step 5. But now on step 6, so that pupil to that wavy line for that egg shape, we're going to get even closer, okay? So it's okay if they are touching, and this time they're gonna be even closer to even though that one was. So what I like to do is just draw a cross. That way I can make sure my lines are going perfectly in the right angle. And I like to do them a little bit fast and like check marks. That way they're not like you're just there one by one. That way you can do them a little bit fast too. And it's okay if they're touching. Step 7 says draw half lines closer to the limbus, making darker. And now on step 7, from that limbus, that dark outline, now we're going to do half lines from that towards the egg. So we're going to just do quick, fast lines, and they're going to be closer together, halfway between this egg shape and the limbus, which is that dark outline. To step 8, it says drawing the veins and detail work. So we're going to do some shadowing. All right, I'm going to show you a trick off to another page, and this is to draw veins, putting the pencil on its side and drawing it along the paper. A zigzag motion, just 2, no more than 3 on each side. If you put too many veins, then it's going to look very like a scary person's eye. So we don't really want to do that. We want to make it sort of a normal human eye shape. So let me get some scratch paper off to the side and show you how to draw lines. And I learned this actually in college. So we're going to put our pencil on its side. So not up and down, actually on its side, like laying on the paper. And we're going to pick it up just barely and then press down. And we're going to move our pencil back and forth, like rolling it between our fingers. And we're going to let it drag across the paper. And that's how we make our vein shape. It's just kind of gradually going. Hopefully you can see this. We're going to draw that on each side of the eye. And you just, no more than 2 is good. So I'm going to draw one right here. And I'm going to turn my eyeball upside down and draw one on the other side. Now we're ready to step 9. It says shadow work. It says you can blend or do hatching and cross hatching for shadow work. Darken the corners of the eye, do shading on each end of the eye. So on each end means the left and the right, and we're also going to do the top of the eyelid. All right, because that's where your eye sinks in. It says you can blend or you can do hatching and cross hatching. All right. If you are working with a pen, it's probably better to do hatching and cross hatching on each end. And if you're working with a pencil, you're going to use your finger to blend. Since I'm using a pencil on a blend, this is on step 9. Our eye is round, okay? And when the light shines directly at it, the light can't reach the outer ends, okay? So it's shining directly right here, and any shadow is going to be on the side. So that's what makes our eye look round and more realistic. So any shadow work is going to be on the outside of their eyeball, okay? Our eyelid comes out a little bit right here. So we're gonna make a shadow on top so we can see that our eye is being sunken in, and our eye as shadow work is going to be on each end so we can know that it's being round. And if you feel like you did too much darkness, don't blend the whole entire eyeball. They're also to just look like a giant shadow. We want to have some highlights. So I'm going to erase a little bit right here because this is the skin part of your eyelid, and this is where it's sticking out just a little bit. So I'm going to create a small highlight right here with just my eraser. All right, folks, make sure we did a little bit of highlights right there on the top part of the eyelid, and then also we darken in and do some shadow work on the left and right hand side. Remember, your eyeball is white, so we're going to make sure we have those white parts are white. All right, folks, we're almost done. We're on step 10. Step 10 is adding the eyelashes. Adding eyelashes, doing this is like making fast and quick check marks. There is a wrong way and there is a right way, okay? So the wrong way is to just draw straight lines. I call this doll eyelashes because they just go straight. They're not really curving and they look kind of weird. We don't want them to look like SpongeBob eyes. The right way is to do check marks. And I want you to notice the eyelashes right here will go on this first part that we drew on the eye. And on this one, they won't go on this line. They actually will go in between these two eyelids, okay? Or this eye line. And let me show you how to do the top portion, okay? They're gonna be checks, but they're gonna be sort of backward checks. So think of like the Nike check, okay? So the first one I'm gonna do is gonna be, it's gonna go down and then up. All right, folks, and we finished all our steps. Make sure to always sign your work on the bottom. That way I know that it is yours